What up, everyone? It's your boy Rare Image and Nailabo here. We are the new hosts of the Take a Chance podcast. The last guy had something come up and will no longer be with us. But I would like to introduce you to our first guest tonight, Little Siren, former host of the Take a Chance podcast and one of my best friends.
Yeah. This is fun for you, isn't it?
So fun.
Can I just? I've said this right before we start filming, but this is weird. I feel so weirded out being on the other side from Nate. It is. It has to be weird for you too, looking across at me, asking me questions.
I mean, it's just the same thing. We're just sitting here talking.
Yeah. All right.
That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But no, what's it like hosting the podcast though?
I love it.
Yeah.
It really, in my opinion, it's another way to express myself other than music.
Yeah.
Because I can, relate off other people's stories that we have heard. I can bond over stuff that I usually don't talk about in music, or other types of music I like, or stuff that I don't really talk about in my music. It's just, it's just another way to express myself for real. And I think that a lot of the guests that we have had over the last couple months in season 1, it made me feel closer to them.
Yeah.
Not just
100%.
two rappers that happen to record at the same place, or a rapper and a clothing brand, a rapper and a singer, a rapper and a designer. It doesn't. It made me feel like, hey, that's my homie. Yeah, we had him on an episode. That's a homie. Yeah.
So, all bias aside, though, what was your favorite episode of season 1? Actually, let's make this a two-parter. What was your favorite episode to listen to, and which was the best to film?
Okay. See, that's a very, because honestly, some of my favorite ones watching weren't my favorite ones to film, and I always feel bad because those days when we were filming early days, there's a couple episodes where I was going to bed at 4 a.m. the night before, getting up at 9 to come out here and film at 10, and then we have one episode to film at noon, and then another episode to film at 5 p.m. and frickin' I'm just the whole fucking episode. Dude. So personally, the ones that were fun to film, Colton's was a good time. Money Moves Gavs was a good time. Fats Luciano, that's one of my favorites. That was a good time. But to watch and actually see, it was yours, being how we've been together for making music together for a couple years and stuff. So doing that episode was special to me. Who ate Cusco? You out of here 2-6? Yes, all right, bro. Have a good birthday.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday. Be safe, dog.
Yeah, for real. The first episode with 2-6 was
how are we gonna lock this if
you have a key?
I don't have it yet.
Oh, you told me you did.
Him.
You guys keep talking. We're not cutting this.
I bet.
But yeah, the 2-6 episode, because it was opening one, and any episode that I did with people that I've known forever, D1 or D1 Chance, Rare Image. Yeah, so any Colton, who I've known for a long time, yeah, those are all gonna be up there. And it's also been fun, doing it with Nate and stuff, because me and him were boys a little bit back in the day.
Yeah, so what was it like when how did this idea for the podcast first start?
Chance actually came to me and told me about it. You good? Got it. All right, perfect. Chance actually told me about it originally. The first we had talked about it, and yeah, well, I'll see you later, 6. Oh, you chilling?
Yeah, I'm on my car.
Oh, okay, bet. Yeah, he actually came to me with the idea for the pod and stuff, and said that Nate and him had been talking about it, and Nate thought I'd be good. Tell him what you said.
What are we talking about right now? I just got back
The
here.
idea for the podcast.
The idea for
starting
how did it come about?
Oh, I don't know. We were in Chance's old studio, and
but you said something.
I was just let's just start a podcast.
Yeah,
when we have the space for it.
But the reason was, what was the reason you wanted me on it?
I said, I'm good at asking the questions. And people have told me I've had a good podcast voice so far.
You do.
So
the ASMR.
Thank you to all them.
I
also said he could fill up the negative space and be kind of annoying.
Yeah. Hey,
I'd like to say mission accomplished.
He's not wrong, bro. Because
you like to talk, man. That's why I wanted you on.
Yeah, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool that we were talking about this last December. No, like 2021 December it came about. So, I mean, just to like finally do it and be a full season through it, it's fucking awesome.
We thought of it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it didn't really come to fruition until
We got the building.
Yeah. Like we couldn't take it serious or anything at that point.
Yeah.
You're fresh off making like a new venture, I guess, Sincerely Siren.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
So that originally started with honestly not wanting to pay people for cover arts. That's how it started. It was just not that I have a shit ton of money now, but it was just a high school kid trying to make music, already like paying for studio time, doing all of that. I didn't want to pay for other stuff too, so I just started kind of finding pictures and stuff that I liked and would just add a font, and then that slowly turned into me adding filters to the pictures. And over the years, especially since starting at Take a Chance, it was meeting a lot of new artists. It was like the pod was another way to express myself, and it was really cool. Like starting to do like logo type stuff, starting to do album covers because I had only been doing like singles.
Peace out, dog.
You out 2-6? Happy birthday, man!
Adios,
Again,
happy birthday.
have a good day. I'll see you Thursday, Brody. But yeah, no, it's just awesome. I've been able to do some cover arts and album art for a few different people, such as.
I see what you did there. You said I'll see you Thursday because he has a surprise birthday
Oh
party
yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I've been doing that all day.
No, you said I'll see you
So
Thursday.
you deserve a day off, 6. Nah, but yeah, that just took me off, but that was funny. I've been able to do some cover arts for not just singles but albums. You know, I did
Just did Juan Donovan's last
Juan
album.
Donovan. I
Yeah.
did
Who Ate Cusco?
Who Ate Cusco. I did. I'm not gonna say the name of the project, but 2-6 has a project coming out later this year that I did the cover art for.
That is not only one of the best projects, but like that cover art goes so hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you liked it too,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. You know, it's a good time, and I like when I'm doing one, I lock the fuck in. My last, the Crowd Control, my last album, Crowd Control, cover art was that. Every single release that I have put out since 2/19/01, I believe, was all me.
We're gonna touch on that.
Yeah, so like all the singles and any project that I've had,
Yeah.
unless it was, and also like probably a lot of my features too.
So you've just always enjoyed doing it?
Oh, it's fun. It's just a good time, and I like
Yeah.
I like when I have a vision for something
Yeah.
and it comes out. And Devin can relate to that because Devin's done those shit too, and
I
I
know.
feel like Colton could relate to that too when
Yeah.
he has a vision in his head for a design. Yeah, so it's just always fun.
Hell yeah. A little bit into your upbringing, though.
Mhm.
You're a big pro wrestling fan.
Fuck yeah.
Who are your top 5 wrestlers of all time? No. Give me your Mount Rushmore, your top 4.
My personal, or who I think the
With
goats are.
with
No,
influence.
you're top 4.
My top 4. Number 1, no doubt, always Jeff Hardy,
I
coolest
knew it.
wrestler. He's just cool, bro. Like even if you like grew out of wrestling, you can admit that Jeff Hardy was just like the
Dude,
coolest.
did you ever listen to Jeff Hardy's album?
Yeah, I didn't like it. If I'm being
Dude, I
honest.
liked it.
It's just
I
it's
fucked
like
with it.
alternative.
Yeah.
I'll throw Edge in there.
Okay.
Edge was always, I just always thought he was cool. Even as a like, I liked him as a bad guy.
The
That's how I
rated
knew
R
him.
superstar.
Yeah, he's sick.
Better as a heel.
Yeah, I agree. Undertaker, in my opinion, the GOAT, greatest of all time.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna do a fourth because there's so many other guys. Like,
Nope.
All right. So
I
That's
you're-
not
have
how
to
this
do
works.
a fourth. I was gonna throw out a bunch of different names.
Nope, pick
Okay,
one.
okay. So, I'll throw CM Punk in there.
okay.
But
So
like-
Chicago made Punk.
Triple H,
that's
Randy
your
Orton.
that's your personal favorite.
To who I think Mount Rushmore is,
Who do you think like the best influence or like made
biggest
the most
stars.
impact? Yeah.
If
Because like that was your personal favorite.
I think if you're outside of wrestling, if you're just like, oh, that guy used to be a wrestler, it's The Rock. It
Yeah.
100% is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just has that star power.
As a pro wrestling fan, I think the biggest star in the history of pro wrestling is Stone Cold Steve Austin
Yeah, he's
or
up there.
John Cena. You look at,
I think
Dude, Stone Cold brought in like the Attitude Era.
but hear me out. if you look at, like, it's just like rap, how Wayne had his 3 years, Eminem had his 3 years, Kanye had his 2 or 3 years, whatever, being the guy. Drake has been the guy for 10 years. Undertaker had his shit where he was the guy. The Rock had his shit where he was the guy. Stone Cold, Triple H had their time. John Cena was the guy for 10 years.
Yeah.
So, and still, anytime you see it, just so like if Cena's returning, spike in the ratings.
I think Hulk Hogan has a huge influence.
I agree. Everyone knows who Hulk Hogan is. I
or
think
Macho Man.
Macho Man too. I think pro wrestling Mount Rushmore. I always
Or
Ric Flair.
I was just
That's
going
another
to
one.
say Ric Flair.
If I'm gonna just name in my opinion, the 8 because I do 2 for each era. So like
Okay.
80s,
Yeah,
90s.
yeah.
So Flair, Hogan,
Okay.
Rock, Austin, Triple H, and Undertaker, and then Shawn Michaels and Cena.
I was gonna say Shawn Michaels got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I could. You could switch Shawn Michaels and Triple H on it. Like Triple
Yeah.
H could be like, yeah. And
I would
then
probably switch.
odds
him.
are Roman Reigns will probably be there one day too. Acknowledge him.
I was also a big fan way back in the day,
That's how we.
But-
yeah.
but I'm not as big of a fan as this guy's still into it,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, that's how we became friends back in the day.
Yeah, for
It was through
real.
wrestling. And
Dude,
like,
that's how me and Ricky were friends
Yeah.
too.
like it was just,
WWE.
I love it. I love the story. I go more back then. It was just like I
Dude,
want John Cena to beat
Same
up
thing
Randy
with
Orton.
Jamie, dude. I turned around on the bus and I was like, "Do you like WWE?" And that's how me and him became friends.
And I remember that's how I met Jamie as well. back
Dude,
in
Will,
the day.
WWE or AEW?
WWE.
All right,
That's what I thought.
WWE or TNT?
TNA,
TNA, that's what it was.
WWE.
Raw or SmackDown.
SmackDown.
ECW or Raw?
Raw. ECW was lame as shit when I was
Dude,
watching it.
what?
Back in the 90s,
Dude, no.
it was sick, but like when I watched it, that shit was
Okay,
straight
yeah, I'll
ass.
give you that. All right, ECW or NXT?
Old ECW or like the ECW that was like in the 2000s?
You
Kelly
just gotta
Kelly
group them
showing her
together.
titties,
You gotta
dude.
take the good with the
I'm
bad.
gonna go. If you're going I'll go based on wrestling. I'll go NXT because my favorite current wrestler was an NXT guy, Adam
Yeah.
Cole. back
NXT now or back when it was a game show?
then. NXT now. Game show suck. All right,
Dude, no, that's where we got Nexus.
Are you
still suck.
are you into like boxing or like MMA?
This
UFC.
is gonna sound very stupid. UFC I got into from playing the video game and
Okay.
watching like
Video
highlights
game is
of
really fun.
Tough, the Ultimate Fighter. Watching highlights of those, I got into UFC, and but honestly, boxing. If I'm being obviously, I know like all the big names like Floyd and Tyson and Muhammad Ali, all those guys, but if I'm being honest, the only time I've really watched boxing, if it was like I got into it because like Logan Paul and Jake Paul were doing it. If I'm being honest, that's what brought my eyes to it. And then, but I did watch at the time of filming Gervonta Davis fuck up Ryan Garcia with that
Yeah.
body shot. I literally said I was completely wrong, but I said if it was a knockout, I thought Ryan Garcia was gonna win. If it went to decision, I was going Tank, but I was wrong.
What other sports are you into?
Basketball.
Yeah.
That was always number one.
Who you got in the finals this year?
Because I'm a Kobe Bryant fan, I'm gonna go the Lakers, and I think that they could make a run. You never know. I
They
think
could beat the Warriors or the Kings, whoever's.
yeah, I agree. But I
Yeah.
think the one team that could give them problems is the Suns. So I'm going Suns or Lakers out of the West.
Okay.
In the East, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Milwaukee. If you're asking me now, after Jimmy Buckets has been just going stupid, if you're
Playoff
asking me
Jimmy.
now, I'll go Boston or Philly out of the East.
Okay, I got Philly and Phoenix.
I would say I could see Philly easily.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll win, but I can see Philly.
What other sports you into?
Being from Detroit, when I first really started getting into like basketball and stuff, the Tigers started getting good over in the MLB, so I got really into baseball as well. Yeah, so I was never really into NFL. I was more so college because I'm a big Michigan State guy. Yeah, never really hockey, never really soccer. I played soccer when I was younger, but like everyone
Yeah.
played soccer when they were younger.
I did not.
Really?
No.
You might be the first person ever. Like everybody has played soccer at one point. But yeah, so it was mainly basketball and baseball and anything Michigan State, whether it was basketball or football or baseball or I mean even I watched some college hockey back in
Yeah.
the day. But yeah, shout out the Pistons. Shout out the Tigers. Pistons, can you please be good for like 1 point in my lifetime,
Hey,
please?
man, hopefully we get Vic.
Oh
Dude,
my
the
god,
Lions are starting to get good. I feel
that's
like
what's cool. The
Dude,
line, that's sick.
I feel like coming from
Lions
Detroit, we can
players
only
just started
ask for like
gambling,
one
dude. We just
team to be
lost
good
all
at a
of them.
time.
Here's my
We
opinion
just
about
lost
that.
all the players for
I-
like 6 games,
I
dude.
definitely wanted to
We
talk
lost
about that at some
2
point.
players
I definitely
Yeah.
wanted to talk about that.
Jamison Williams, bro.
for 6 games.
This is what sucks. The way it's very shitty because there were players that were betting on the NFL. I get that. You shouldn't do that.
No, Jamison Williams didn't bet.
Did not bet on the NFL. I
No.
know that. But some of the players that got suspended indefinitely,
Yeah.
they were NFL betting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he didn't have any insider information. He might have, maybe, but like just betting in
No,
a
do
sport
you know
that he
why
had nothing to do with
Why he got suspended?
because he was betting.
No, because he placed the bet while in, I believe it was the training facility.
See, that's bullshit.
So
NFL
like, if
players,
he would have placed that bet like from his house, he wouldn't have been suspended.
NFL players can beat their wives and then play on Sunday, but you can't bet. That doesn't make sense to me. Fuck Roger Goodell, good whatever the fuck his name is. What's his name?
You're right.
Okay, Roger Goodell. Yeah.
No, but all right. So you're into sports as a kid, but like, why music? What made you like want to start music? What type of music were you listening to growing up? Type of deal?
Honestly, I just always like growing up. It was a lot of Motown. It was a lot of Temptations.
Yeah.
It was a lot of Michael Jackson, especially after he died. It was a lot of whoever, like, because I have a little sister too.
Mhm.
So like, there were days where we're riding in the car. I have to listen to Justin Bieber's whole album. I have to listen to
Are
One
you really
Direction's whole-
complaining about
No,
the
not
Bieber?
now, because I think overall listening those type of musics has helped me
Will,
do a lot of different shit.
Siren,
Go ahead.
do you remember where you were when Michael Jackson died?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
I was like, just because I do, and it's just like crazy because I was young,
I think I only have a couple of those moments.
and that's
in my
like
life.
that's one of like those first moments for me though
Mhm.
that like I remember where I was
I agree.
when he died.
I agree. I would say the same thing for me. The other one, celebrity that passed away, and it was like, oh shit. I was really young, so I didn't say oh shit, obviously, but like, I was. I remember where I was. I was riding to the zoo, which is kind of ironic, and it popped up on the radio that Steve Irwin had died.
I thought he was gonna say Harambe.
No,
Dude, that was a
Nah,
rough death.
Steve Irwin sucked. I was too
Life
young.
has gone downhill since Harambe died.
I was really
Summer
young at the
16.
time, so it really didn't like hit me, Steve Irwin. But like over the years, especially because back then I was all about playing with my animals and shit like that. So
Yeah.
like, and animals were my shit, like
Yeah.
for real. So Steve Irwin, yeah, like Kobe Bryant, Juice WRLD, there's a bunch of them. But growing up, certain music, it was Uncle Kracker. I was listening to Uncle Kracker, which was so fucking cool for me because he did the Uncle Sam Jam a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I literally snuck away from my friends just so I can go find a place in that crowd and listen to those. Because we were all in high school when it happened. And it's
Yeah.
not really, oh, you're going to listen to Uncle Kracker. No, yeah, bro, I grew up on that shit. So yeah, Uncle Kracker. But yeah, a lot of Temptations, My Girl, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Jackson 5. Even though with Jackson 5, I didn't necessarily know Michael Jackson. The day I found out Michael Jackson was when my mom turned on the TV and it said Michael Jackson died at 40. What was it, 49?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
50.
It might have been 50, but something like that. Like that's how I found out who Michael Jackson was. So, but yeah, a lot of Mike. And slowly started to get into rap. Like, I mean, everyone. If you grow up in Michigan, you know who Eminem is.
Mm-hmm.
So Eminem.
Grew up anywhere, you know who Eminem is.
Honestly, a lot of Kid Rock. My aunt's a big
yeah.
fan. So
I was like, I had a lot of Kid Rock
my
too.
aunt is a big Toby Keith. That was another one. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit. Mostly country and like old Motown type
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So when did rap come into the play? What first rappers were you like getting put onto?
Probably Eminem.
Do you remember your first Eminem song?
It was probably, honestly, I knew Lose Yourself, but I didn't know it was Eminem. The first song that I knew and was like, oh, this is by the Eminem guy was Not Afraid. So I knew Lose Yourself first, but Not Afraid being a hit. I remember like that being when I was
See,
around.
I don't even know if I remember like Lose Yourself. For me, it was probably Love the Way You Lie.
Love the Way You Lie is another one too. But yeah, Lose Yourself I knew. And then slowly in like going into 8th grade, freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
because before that specifically, it was Eminem. Like that was like my only rap. Maybe a little bit of like Ludacris or somewhere in there, or like
features in pop songs.
like Nelly, stuff like that. But I remember my freshman year in high school, and Drake dissed Eminem. I mean, Drake dissed Meek Mill, and I was like, oh fuck. Like,
was that charged up?
No, back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, and I remember everyone just like kind of singing it. Like I remember people I was hanging out with were just like rapping to it and shit. And I was like, yeah, this song's cold. And then I started to get to know the lyrics, and then I listened to all Drake's old shit, and then like came into Views, and that's when I've like fully kind of went into music. And then Summer 16 happened, and that was big, and the me wanting to be like
great
doing
song.
something.
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say like the early music days.
Yeah.
Like, when did you like first start recording or writing?
If I'm being honest, and I'll be honest. There was, and I've said this on other episodes, there were rappers that went to my school, and when I was in high school, and I was always like in the back of my head, like, oh, it'd be so cool to be like a famous rapper, or like be a big singer or something like that. But I never realized how fucking easy it was. You literally need a mic and like a computer or something to upload it to.
And some skill. I've
Yeah,
heard
a little bit of
bad
skill.
rappers that have all of that shit.
I agree, but like, bro, I'm not saying it had to be good songs, but in order to put out any music, you needed a mic and a laptop. That's all you needed. So I never realized that how easy it was. So then when I have people I go to high school with putting out music, like I remember in 8th grade when like the kid from my school, I heard one of his songs and stuff, and then growing up, like him coming out with more music. And eventually I went to one of them and like told him like I would love to do some shit like this. And I think he kind of was like, yeah, maybe. Yeah, some shit. Like he kind of blew me off. But I was like excited about it because I wanted to do music. The first song I ever wrote was actually in 2011. It was my cousin had graduated from high school, and my little sister asked me if I wanted to help her write a song to perform like at the grad party. So it was instead of Baby, it was to the tune of Justin Bieber Baby, but it was Courtney, and you remember my cousin Courtney, I think, yeah. So we did that song, and that was probably the first song I ever wrote. But it didn't. I was like excited, but I didn't start doing any music till 2019, and that was with a guy named Rose239. That's where it all started. He texted me. Well, actually, he texted my cousin to do some music, and my cousin was down. And then my cousin told me about it, and I texted Ricky like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to do this too." So Ricky's like, "Yeah, you're good." And I had already been being called Lil Siren because
before you even started rapping.
A friend of mine told me I should quit basketball and just do rapping, and he started giving me stupid ass names such as something quesadilla, something pop tart. I've said this in like almost any interview I've done, but and then he said, or Lil Siren, and for some reason just it stuck with me. I was like, that's kind of catchy. Well, why Lil Siren? And he said, 1, it's dumb, and 2, in your songs you could wee woo. So then it kind of started to be like people would call me Siren or wee woo or Lil Siren. Like it just happened. So when I got cut from basketball my junior year, I literally like posted it. I was like something like jokingly, time to focus on my music career. Like I don't do basketball. Time to do something in music. So I already had the name picked out. So when Ricky asked me what my name was going to be, I said Lil Siren. And then I went to his house, recorded it. My cousin backed out, and that song ended up becoming Heartbreaker. And that song. Devin's one of the. Did you hear it?
I've heard that song.
Oh, it's
before.
horrible. It's
I
so
was
bad.
like, it's probably as iconic as TikTok Thoughts.
It is. It's up there. And don't get me wrong. I don't think that it was the best we could do at that time.
Yeah.
It honestly was. Like, it's not that, like, if we re-recorded it and put actual time into it and, like, perfected the verses and stuff, it could be a really good song. Like, the premise was there.
Yeah. The idea of it was dope, but it just wasn't executed properly.
I'll never forget.
Maybe we'll throw it at the end of this episode.
Maybe,
Do
probably
it
not.
right now.
I'll have Ricky send it to me. I'll send it to you, Nate.
I'll never forget. My cousin ended up coming over that day that we recorded, and he walked in. We played the song, and then like he had heard bits and pieces because Ricky had sent us his hook, and Ricky said it like didn't have any auto tune on it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's why it sounds bad. And then we recorded it, and it didn't sound much different after he had like mixed it, even though that's not what he called it back then because we didn't even know those terms yet. And then my cousin said, you need to put some auto tune on it. And Ricky's like, oh, it's already there. And me and Archie were like, oh, okay. So that ended up happening. And yeah, that will always be the homie, though. Like, starting off those early days, that's the day one for sure. And I'm hoping, because he told me not too long ago that he's going to be home in a couple weeks or something, or like a month. I'm hoping we can get him on an episode.
You have came a long way from
definitely.
Yeah.
Even in the even in the last 2 years, like if you look at my music 2 years ago to compare what I have like in the vault and out now, I've been getting way better.
Dude, any reason you're hoarding it in the vault?
Too many
waiting
people
for the right time.
This is the thing. I have homies that are dropping projects and working on projects, and they have expected dates. So we'll talk about the project that's coming out in May next in a little bit. But like I had to look around and see where would be a good spot to put it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take it away from anything, and I didn't want anyone's album to take away from ours.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to. There's a few of my, such as Casey Cash and such as probably the Dons, because I think Rob has two different projects coming out this year. 2-6 has a bunch of projects coming out this year. I don't want to take away from anybody.
Yeah.
So it might. Something's in the works right now for a project, and sometime this year.
Yeah. What were you doing before Take a Chance? So, like, where were you recording?
The original project called Alert was at the first place I ever recorded was Ricky's parents' bedroom.
Okay.
on bro, dead ass. Like up on one of those those skinny computer mics that are like a pen, like they're like skinny like a pencil. Yeah. That's what we recorded that song on.
All right.
After that, I had saw this guy that was making music, and he was getting some love for his music, and the song was doing great on SoundCloud and stuff. And I saw he was downriver Michigan, so I DM'd him, and I was like, "Yo, enjoy the new. I really like the new song. I do music too. I would love to work with you." Text me back like, "Yeah, bro. Like I'm so down. Like let's get something popping." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Where you live at?" And he was like, "Groszeal." And I was like, "Oh, perfect. Like yeah, this could be dope." And he goes, "Will, it's fucking Matt Thompson, like from St. Stan's. Me and him used to play basketball together." So went to his house, recorded a song in his sauna. He had like phone set up in his sauna. Yeah. And then we met another rapper named Q-Dub who has worked with some of the other artists from my school. Went out to his studio, did a song, and then after that, all the other songs for that project was at One Grains, who I had met through. I don't know. I think he might have. I can't remember if I just found him or he DM'd me or something and told me that he did engineering or something like that. So that I can't remember.
He's in my grade.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how that relationship got started, but yeah, that whole first project was with One Grain in his basement.
Yeah. So 2/19/01. Tell me a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. So just it was kind of like coming off Alert. It was. I had done some good features with people on that project, and
you were working with him.
No, not on Alert. No, not with him.
2/19/01. I was talking about.
No. I know. I there's like a story behind it. So one sec. And it'll lead into that. But working on Alert, met some people, did like one single after Alert, and then did 2 features with Ricky for that like till the following October. Mm-hmm. And in May, getting ready to graduate, it was my last day of school. I was out with friends, excited that we were all about to graduate and stuff. And I got my uncle had passed away that night. And I think I was already in a funk, but it was the first person, like friend, family, people like that I had a relationship with.
First significant passing in your family.
Yeah. So that was hard, and then it I kind of pushed away from music. I was already in a funk, so that didn't help. And I was dating a girl at the time during the last couple months of high school, and it didn't work out. So there was just a lot of shit going on. And then I just so happened to be scrolling through Instagram one day, and I saw PJ Fuentes at the time post
Who ate Cusco now?
Who ate Cusco now? Post a event that he was being a part of called a Nightmare Park from Chasey the Illest.
Yep.
So I texted PJ to see if there was any opening act slots open still. I believe there was. I was locked in for that. And then I had talked to Chasey, and Chasey told me that if someone couldn't perform of the headliners, I would get moved up. So I was like, cool, perfect, like whatever. Ended up doing that show.
Performing with Ricky.
Ricky, yeah, he was up there
I was
too.
like, because that's why I pulled up.
Yeah, and then even the day that one of the two songs I had done with Ricky was called Wet. I was at his house. I think that was the first night I met you.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I knew who you were because I had seen you in school, but we had never like.
I was like, I think I mixed Wet.
No, I think Ricky did. You might be.
No, I'm pretty sure I mixed Wet.
Yeah, because I think he might have done Sugar or whatever it was called. I think it was Sugar.
No, Ricky did Sugar. I did Wet.
Okay, so Wet, we were at his
those
house.
Are good songs, by the way. I forgot about some of those.
I like those
classics
songs still.
on SoundCloud.
Yeah. We went to his house after we recorded at Ricky's, and then me and him, I remember vividly arguing with Ricky about who gets to put out the song. And then out of nowhere, I got a notification on my phone. I opened my phone. Rose drops new song on the SoundCloud notification. I was like, what the fuck? I was so mad. And Devin's just dying laughing. So
I was like, not my song. I don't give a shit.
So I got to perform that with Ricky, and then I actually performed a song off Alert on the Block with Who Ate Cusco. And then I actually had done another song with Who Ate Cusco right after Alert. But yeah, so that kind of got my juices flowing again. It got me excited to do more music. Yeah. And then I started going with him. Okay. And if it wasn't for him, first of all, I know it was called, I know it was my album, but he had just as much influence on it that I did. If it wasn't for him, none of those songs would have got finished. And
don't ask about my mixes back then. They aren't what they are now.
It was a different time, but
I was learning.
No, it was just fun. Yeah. We were all making music. We were just enjoying it.
Dude, making that album was crazy because like earlier in that month we were like, hey, let's throw a festival, which we'll get to more in a second, but like we wanted to finish this album before the festival. So all of a sudden we had this like 3-week deadline where we're just like cramming. And like the week of the festival, Will was probably at my aunt's house recording
every night besides the last night.
Every night for probably a good at least like 5 or 6 hours.
Because I would say we had 5. We might have had like 3 done going in, and we might have had like 2 more started. We ended up doing 7 more songs. So like that was all that month. We were just cramming, trying to get it all done. And if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have got done. Because if for some reason he couldn't record, like there was nothing I could do.
Which they were literally like late to sound check. Him and Ricky trying to drop this album.
We were finishing the last song. We were sitting in my living room, doing the song that he's on my album, "Smoke," the remix to "Smoke." Yeah. So he finished mixing that, posted the album, went to sound check, like to get it out. So we did sound.
I remember yelling at them because they were like an hour fucking late.
My cousin and my homie Sean Don, who was an opening act at Siren Fest, they were there before me. And it's called fucking Siren Fest. It wasn't. We were trying to do it, and to this day, I still think my cousin thinks I was sitting because I told him that we had gone to McDonald's and did it, but no, I was sitting in my living room. So sorry, RJ. But yeah, Siren Fest. I mean, honestly, that ranks up there for me. Is like something I'm very fucking proud of.
Yeah, 'cause you put it together.
Yeah, it was. I know it was called Siren Fest, but like this dude, Ricky. Us 3 put our heads together, and I think we made a pretty good event for what we could do at the time. You know, it was a fun night. We had I did a set, Ricky did a set, Chasey Ellis pulled up and did a couple songs. Rare Image did a set. The trios, shout out Twan, shout out D1. They both they were up there performing. We had a bunch of opening acts. Shout out Vinny Price. Shout out Sean Don. I'm not shouting out the rest of them. But yeah, so like it was just fun. It was just a great event, and it made me want to strive. It got I thought I was burnt. After 1901. I needed a break, and And then when doing that show, juices started getting flowing again, like right away. It was so weird. Just a little bit of something to spark that inspiration, and you're good.
So what came after Siren Fest?
Joe Jack, I believe.
Was it?
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
So we had done Siren Fest on November
November.
23rd, 2019. Coming up on 4 years, which is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. We might have to throw another for like the 5th
I would love to.
anniversary.
I would love to. But I remember exactly what I said. Feeling burnt. I was like, I need a break. I just need a mental reboot. Like to chill, not write music, not worry about it. Got a call from Joe because I had met him, and he actually mixed one of the songs on 21901 and mixed a diss track on a kid. So, the guy that diss track, you know who you are. You're still my homie. We're cool now. That's the dude. But yeah. So me and him had known each other. Mm-hmm. We had met through some of the other, because I met Joe through Leeway and Snowball God and Strad, who all recorded at my school. Leeway actually picked me up from school that day and took me to meet, like, to go record with Joe. So, yeah, so we knew each other, we had each other's number, and he called me and told me that he was opening the studio and needed some new clients. So that, another thing, got my juices flowing. So I started recording with him, and I thought personally, and this was nothing against Devin or One Grain or anybody that mixed my songs, it's more so about how I felt about my writing. Mm-hmm. Those were my best songs I had came out with at the time. I don't know. Would you agree with that? Those works. So doing those, I felt confident. I felt excited. Like I was like, oh fuck, and then, bam, COVID hits. Can't go anywhere. Can't go to the studio, and I was jealous because, and this is nothing against them, but Joe, I don't know if he stayed with people or something like that, but he was like. Joe had Sueno up at House of Hits and stuff. Sueno was at Strad's house with Strad recording music, like at least every 2 days or something like that. So they're still going, and I'm just stuck. It sucked. So then when it finally lifted, I went back to Joe's, I think 2 more times, and then it closed. And then I was just kind of scrambling for a while. No idea where I was recording. I think after...
I remember you hit me up. It was like, I'll give you money, and I was like, I just don't have the time right now.
Exactly. All the
I was like, oh, I would.
Yeah, all the people that I've worked with and stuff, like One Grain, me and One Grain really hadn't been talking. Rich Youngboy stopped kind of doing music. Q-Dub Studio was out in Sterling Heights. Wasn't going to use Ricky's computer mic. So it stopped for a little bit. And that would fast forward to, I think, 2021, the summer of 2021. I found a studio and was able to go record. And that was the first time making music in almost a year, I believe.
That was Take a Chance?
No, it was Parallel Studios in Sterling Heights. Yeah. And I did a song called Ghosted Me that ended up being cut and redone with Chance. Yeah. And then I did a song No Smoke, which I would have loved to redo with Chance, but we didn't.
Who was Pick It Up with?
Joe. That was with Joe, yeah.
Was that your first music video?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was Rare Image shot it.
Yep. That was the first music video I shot.
Mm-hmm. And we had Currency Clothing sponsoring. Sponsoring?
No.
Endorsing.
I was rocking Currency the whole video.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came through and got in the video and stuff, and we had a little
Which is actually how I not met Colton, but re-met Colton.
Began working with him.
Obviously I knew Colton from high school, but that's kind of where we started working together.
Yeah, so you're welcome, Devin and Colton. It was all because of a little Siren music video.
So when does Take a Chance come into the play? When did you meet Chance? How did you find out about Take a Chance?
It was a little bit after Parallel. I shot the video with you for No Smoke. And
we had a lot of issues with that video too. Getting the audio files.
That's why I was like, okay, need a new studio. Because I was
like,
bro,
that video probably would have came out 2 weeks sooner, had I gotten the audio file.
Mm-hmm. And shout out, Parallel, they can do their thing. I don't think it was anything they were bad. I think that they just weren't familiar with me as an artist. So that's why it took a while to kind of make it sound right. So it's nothing against them. They're doing their thing. I hope they continue to prosper. But, it was just a hassle getting the final mix back for that video, and it took a while. And then in between filming and getting the song for the video, I think I had posted, need a new studio, like looking for something. If you know one, slide up. You slid up and go.
Nate's like, I don't remember that.
And go, my homie Chance just opened a studio. I spit like a bitch.
Yeah, I just seen it.
My homie Chance opened a studio, and he's looking for new clients and stuff like that. Like, come, like, hit him up. And I'd met Chance a couple times through like PJ and some people's too. So
School store.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, in the school store as well. Yeah. So yeah, him, Nate hitting me up and being like, "Yeah, this is open." It wasn't that far. It was like 15-minute ride from where I live at. So I was like, "Oh, bet, perfect." So I went there, and there's something about it. I feel like, and honestly, like, at least for me, it just felt like it clicked. Like, it worked. We vibed off each other.
You're just comfortable as soon as you got there.
It worked. And even, like, I remember first time recording at Parallel or Joe's or whoever, or your house, whoever I've recorded with. I was nervous that first song.
Yeah.
Chances, it just felt right.
Really?
It felt natural. So
What was the first song you did?
I can't tell you what I did that first session. I can't remember. I don't even know if I recorded one that first session. I believe the first song I did was a song that was called To the Ceiling. And it was me.
You just read my mind. I was like, that might have been the first
I
one.
think it was.
I didn't want to say anything.
I was
It
like,
was
because I thought you would have sent me it.
I probably would have, but I mean,
We have it.
Yeah, I have it. I definitely have it.
I have it somewhere.
The original people on that song was me, you, and
Sean.
Sean. Yeah. And that was originally, I think, a beat you just liked, and you were just recording, and then you realized.
I was recording, and I was like, all right, I want you guys to hop on and see what can happen.
So I did, I think, a 12 or something like that, and then the beat switch. Sean Don went in there on some crazy auto-tune, trying to do his best little baby impression.
Dude.
Sean Don got some heat. That's a homie for sure.
For real.
Yeah, that's a blood. But
He do got some heat.
Sean texted me the next day and was like, "Yo, cut my shit." Like, he just didn't like it. So then Chance ended up hopping on it, and that was actually it almost became one of the songs on the first album I did with Chance. But we ended up cutting it because I think we have a little bit better music that was
I did not
on
like
that album.
song.
Yeah, I thought maybe if we re-recorded it, it would have been better. But yeah, so it led into that first project with Chance.
Crowd Control.
And that, I think, each of my albums, at least to me, even if you, like, they were at different points in my life, but they each meant something different to me.
Yeah.
Alert was getting my name out there. Was starting to, like, kind of trying to put a little bit respect on my name. God damn it, bro. Trying to get a little bit respect on my name for that, and, like, start to make my name a little bit more known. Basically, a lot of people didn't fuck with Heartbreaker, and Alert became like, okay, this is kind of like, I want people to like me, so let's put out some good music. That's what that was.
Yeah.
21901 was getting back in the groove of things. 21901 was more personal. I talk about my uncle passing in that album. Like, I talk about a lot of different shit. I talk about that first year making music and how I, like, adapted and, like, tried to grow to be better.
Dude, one of your favorite songs, or one of my favorite songs of yours, is on that first album.
What is it?
With You.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite songs I've ever done.
Dude,
Devin
no,
loves
but
it.
picture you recording that now with Chance.
Could be heat. Could be perfect. But it was just, I wasn't singing it right, and no offense to One Grain, but I think Chance has a better, like,
Mix.
mix. Than
Not
One Grain.
even the better mix, just a better sense of your voice.
Yeah.
Just from working together so much.
Yeah. I mean, bro, not even if you don't want to talk about music, like, just me being in here and talking to him. Like, I bet he picks up on that shit.
Yeah.
That dude's smart. But Crowd Control was really like, bro, I had put out 2 projects. I had done my own show. I think not to say I'm huge, but I thought maybe I should deserve a little bit respect. Like I could make a good music. Like, and people still were looking at me as that Heartbreaker kid. So Crowd Control, honestly, was a very much like, okay, like, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me, but, like, this is, like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And you guys will know once you hear this album. So working on that album with Chance, having some great fucking features on that album, people I've worked with before and new people and stuff.
No Bias. I think No Friends is the best song.
Nate's on the album.
I'm not even saying that because
That's
I'm
a great
on there.
song.
I'm not even saying that because
And that song, honestly, it's my favorite. One of my favorite recording stories I've ever had.
Don't tell it. Don't tell it.
I
Come
Don't
on.
tell it,
I
don't
think
tell it.
21's one of my favorite.
21's I think that's one of my better rapping songs. But yeah, man, it was very much so. And there had been people, and I'm not going to say names, but there had been people telling me that I wasn't good enough for shit or I wasn't big enough for shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll show you I am.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I went about that album. I wanted people to kind of like, hey, I'm not bad. Like respect me a little bit, bro. Like I can make good music. So like that was a very important project to me that I knew I had to try to do my thing on it. And I think I did pretty good on that album. It's my favorite body of work I've put out.
Sure.
And like working with you on that album, which was cool. We had done another song.
We can tell the story, I guess.
This is the best story
I was
in the
sitting on the couch at like 3 a.m, like about to go to bed, and he's recording this song.
That's not what happened.
And you go, Nate, you want to hop on this? And I'm like kind of slumped out. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Nah, that's not what happened. He was fucking around and freestyling. We were throwing you words, and then Chance just had a random beat. This is like 2 a.m. You're just recording. And then
it might have been a different song though. No, the one, No Friends. I was like, I'm hopping on this one.
Yeah, because I go, well, I have this hook.
Oh
that if
yeah,
you want,
yeah.
I was
right.
like,
But I was still slumped. It was like 3 a.m.
He's sitting in the booth. He opens the door and he goes, Chance, you got anything you want me to hop on? Chance is like, I mean, not really, not right now. Like, don't really have anything in the works. It's like, Siren, what about you? Oh, Will, you called me Will. Will, what about you? And I go, well, I have this hook. And I remember, I love this guy. And I started singing it. Nate looks at me, pauses for 5 seconds, and goes, we're doing that one. So then he asked me the premise of the song, and I explained it to him, and he was like, bro, why is that what I'm going through right now? And then fucking he hopped on it and knocked out a verse in like 20 minutes. Yeah, so that one was fun. Jacob Dotson was a good time working on.
What's your favorite feature on the album?
So I got
Mine.
my first ever.
I ate that verse.
My first ever song that I came out with 2-6 is on that album. That I like 2-6 as a feature was on that album. It was called Basics. I did a song with Rose 239 called Bright. I did a song called Camp Rock with HBR.
Bright might be my second favorite.
Bright's
on
up
the
there
album.
for me. I think that was one of those sleepers.
Dude,
of the
I was
album.
so mad when I heard that one.
I go back
'cause,
and listen to it. I think that's a good song.
That was like dead in the middle of like me and Ricky's joint album, so I was like, why the fuck did that not come to me?
Oh no, it was great. I thank you, Ricky. But working with you on No Friends, working with the one that surprised me the most was Dot. That one was crazy.
Ghost?
Ghosted Me.
Ghosted Me.
Yeah, he just came through to hang out. It was before he was living there. He just came through to hang out, and I was just sitting there, and I had Ghosted Me recorded with Parallel, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So then I just looked at him. I was like, bro, what do you think? Like, let me sing this for you and see what you can do. And he goes, okay, bet. So I go in there, I sing it. He kind of gets what I'm going for, but then he goes, let me switch a couple things up. And he goes in there and just fucking kills it. Like first try. Just and I
He's
can't.
talented, dude.
Were you there?
He doesn't take it serious enough. I tell him, I'm like, dude,
Someone
you
was
take it
there
serious.
with us. I think it could have been
No,
Sean.
I wasn't there.
It could have been Sean. Because I remember being like looking at somebody that wasn't Chance and looking at somebody and being like, damn, like he was just killing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the most surprising. Favorite, probably Nate and you and me. I think No Friends is one of my best songs I've ever done.
Feels a little biased.
No, I would tell him to his face if I didn't like it.
Because I've told him like certain songs I just don't like of his. I'm honest with him.
I would do the same
was
with
like,
them.
Dude, no, like this is the one I want to hop on.
Yeah, no, that was a fun night, and that's probably my favorite feature. on
Not
that
too
project.
long after we got you on that No Hard Feelings too.
Oh yeah, that one.
I wasn't even supposed to be on the song, and somehow it made No Hard Feelings too. I walked in, and him and Chance are making a song.
We were
and
just.
then I was like, let me hop on this. And Chance couldn't believe in my punching ability, so
That might have been one of the first times Chance like really punched. Like he didn't write down shit for that
I was
song.
telling Chance, I was like, dude, you can punch, bro.
He did not write, bro. He went in there and went bar for bar.
Now that's all he does.
Yeah,
I know.
for real. So like,
I told him, I was like, dude, you can do that.
Yeah,
you can do it. Trust me. Just go in
that
there and
song-
whatever you would write, just say it.
Yeah, I just to show you how much this. Am I pointing at the right one? This
Yeah.
project means to me. When signing up for Camp Currency this year,
Yeah.
I put that as one of my biggest accomplishments in music.
Hell yeah.
I love that
That's
album.
dope. Dude,
And
I love that album.
The fact that not only I
I didn't think I was capable to do something like
it's
that.
a beautiful album.
It is
the
a great
fact
album.
the fact that I was able to be on it and kind of be behind it and watching it happen.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful, man. Like
Dude,
it's just
the thing is, I don't even like take it super serious. I don't know.
it's a great but you should, like I said, like you should never, like, you obviously you gotta keep striving and get bigger, but like you should be proud of yourself for your accomplishments.
No, I am proud of it.
That's a
'Cause,
beautiful
like,
album.
The way it came out it's really dope, but it's like there was no intention to make an album that was like dope like that.
Yeah, features on there killed it. It was a
it's
good
very
project.
good album.
Yeah, I love that album.
Like I think there's some hits on there, but I just don't take music serious and never promote my stuff enough to actually.
It happened organically too. That song.
Yeah.
What's the reason? We were just
Yeah.
bored waiting for you.
Yeah, and I just
started doing
pulled
a
up and I was
song,
like, yeah, let me hop in this.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's the reason? Freestyle. Funny story about one of the songs on that album.
No hard feelings too.
Mm-hmm. I found a beat, loved it. It was like that hype type shit that I like
already
doing.
know this.
Hype shit, loved doing it. Started writing to it. Wrote like I think like a hook and like half a verse to it. Then all of a sudden, in one of the TAC group chats, Chance puts a song, or it might have been you, one of the two. Chance puts a song. It was him or Chance. Someone put a song in the chat, and I played it. Praise God, bro. I was like, motherfucker, that's the intro of the song. That was the legit same beat. And it was just so, like, I was like, I've heard almost every song on this project. How have I not heard that one yet?
That was the one we were waiting on.
Yeah, that was the only one I hadn't heard. And it's one of my favorites.
That's like my least favorite song on the whole.
Best song
don't
on
get
the
me wrong,
album?
Juan killed it, but that's just like my least favorite
Yeah.
song on the album.
Personally, I mean, What's the Reason? Obviously, is going to be up there because I'm on it. But No Kidding, love that song.
What?
I think it's the catchiest.
You know what's crazy about that album is I've heard people say they like the first half a lot and not so much the second half, and I've also heard people say they don't like the first half much, but they like the second half. So I'm touching like everyone.
I honestly would probably be second half.
Really?
The first half is hard. Don't get me wrong, but like the
I
type
think
of
I'm first half.
First
the type
half,
of rap
dude.
music that I like, because you guys, I grew up listening, like when I got into rap was Drake, Migos, Uzi,
Yeah.
those type of guys. You guys were listening to like Mac Miller, like J. Cole, and Kendrick. You guys looked for more shit like that,
Oh,
correct?
Dude, I've been
Yeah.
listening. To
But
my
like that's a
music
valid
taste is so diverse.
that's a
like,
valid statement, right?
yeah.
So like me hearing those hyper shit towards the bottom, that's gonna bring me in more.
Yeah.
But especially working with you guys, like I've gotten more into that style of music and shit. So like Jean-Paul Gaultier, that's a great
Yeah,
one. Short and
fire.
Sweet, that's a great one. Who I Once Was?
Yeah.
Yeah, Who I Once Was.
Who I Once Was might be one of my
Her
favorites.
hook
too.
on that song. Yeah,
That's just
nah.
a very well put together
Actually, it might be Short and Sweet. Short and Sweet, I listen to at the gym all
That's
the
a
time.
great
song.
song.
Yeah.
It's a great gym
Yeah,
song.
no, yeah.
I love the cassette playing at the beginning and
Mhm.
it just starts the album because
Yeah,
the album
no,
transitions
that's
so well
That's a
together.
I
great.
did a
song.
music video for that one, actually.
Yes, you did.
That was
Yeah,
my
you
first
did.
video for
Mhm.
Chance.
Yeah, that's facts. But then not too long after that, this building
Yeah.
Mhm.
comes about.
Um.
What was your take on this actually coming about?
So I don't know for sure if this is, if this has happened yet, but a little bit over a year ago, around that, it could have been less than a year ago. It could have been a little bit over. Chance doesn't know for sure because he doesn't check his Snapchat memories every day. I made a bet with Chance about opening a building,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him that a year from that day, not in a different house, not in like in just like upstairs at some place, like
A building.
actual, like you go on Google, you go on, it says it, or like because we keep it low, like we just have a, you know what I mean. I would get a tattoo. I would get a Take a Chance tattoo.
Where is it?
What?
The tattoo.
It's not here yet.
Exactly.
I'm going to go get a tattoo gun, and we're just going to do it on the next episode.
We should have did it on this episode. We
I'm
should
gonna
have
be
got a
honest,
tattoo
bro.
artist to come in here
Honestly,
and just
if I had
pin him
money, I
down
probably
and
would
just
do
Dude, honestly, we could maybe go do it like tomorrow and just
pin him
tack
down
it
without
on.
his consent.
Oh, that could be low key. That could be his birthday present. Chances.
Ooh.
Tattoo.
The TAC tattoo. Like, we go to the crib tomorrow, and I just show him it. By the way, I was supposed to fucking text Erica when Chance left.
I won't be able to make the tattoo appointment, but I'll be at chances to look at the tattoo.
Yeah, I gotta figure out. Anyways, but maybe we'll talk about it. But you know, a lot had happened leading up to that building and shit. You know, it was like, I remember I was in the car with another rapper, got Money Moves Gav. I was with him, got a text, better get tatted, and just a picture of a key in his hand. And I called him, and I was like, what the fuck? Because he had told me there was other there's been talks for a building, like he had talked to some other people and stuff like that. So like the fact that it was really happening, I was like, oh my god, like holy shit, we're getting we're out the crib, bro. And don't get me wrong, that crib is fucking amazing. Like
that studio was nice.
It was a vibe, bro.
Dude, it was.
Yeah, like Chance did absolutely.
He felt at home.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. He fucking it was his bedroom, bro, and he made that shit feel like in a legit studio.
Yeah,
like it was the best job he could have done in a bedroom. You know, so I mean, bro, being here with both of y'all, painting these walls, scrubbing the walls.
Well, we painted walls.
Going to Home Depot. Fuck you.
you scrubbed the piss.
I painted
Siren
walls.
painted walls too. It's just I finished like 2.5 walls in the time he did like a quarter.
The thing he's not mentioning, I was here for 3 days painting. He was here for 1.
Oh.
So I painted this room too, bitch.
I was like,
You painted
I was
the
here
blue
for the
wall
second
that we
coat
don't
of the
even
red.
use anymore.
I know.
Yeah. So I was here doing all that.
No, I
was-
painted all the grays too.
Right there, we had crap on the wall. I had to, well, not actual crap. Something was on the wall. Had to scrub
it
that
was
shit
crap.
before we primed it.
Oh, yeah.
Cleaning the bathrooms. Like, bro, like when we first came in here, the studio that y'all know now, it was a fucking wooden room. There was no booth. It was just
No
straight
carpet,
wood.
nothing.
It was plain as shit. So me, like I looked at it. I was like, oh, plain canvas. It's perfect. Like, this is going to be dope. We already had a plan. And if y'all saw, I don't know if the before or after pictures were ever posted, but
I
if
don't think they were.
y'all saw some of the before pictures and then saw the after, y'all be proud of us too. Like, so it was awesome.
Oh yeah. Do you have any like upcoming projects or events that you're doing?
Yeah, we got, speaking of 2-6 and being in the building, me being with Chance all the time. If you're a friend of mine, you wonder where I've been at. Next door. That's where I've been. Like, that's where I haven't been going out since spring break. Like, I've been always here. And during that time, me and Chance have a lot of free time in between sessions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Knocked out an album. So we got a collab album coming out called Green Forever. And I'm going to be honest, the name of KC and Chance's, or 2-6, their project, April Showers, I liked how they had it mean something to them.
Yeah.
It meant, like, it made sense. It was like something that they both could relate to.
Yeah.
So with Green Forever, anybody that's recorded with Chance, he always goes, oh yeah, that's green. So then green was stuck in my head. Originally it was greenhouse. Because I was going to try to make a drawing of his house and stuff. And then it became Green Tomorrow. I think that was the original name.
I remember that one.
And then I said something to Chance about it, and he goes, what about Green Forever? And there it was. So that's dropping May 21st.
You should do like a trilogy, like Green Today, Green Tomorrow, Green Forever.
Bro, tell me why I have suggested this to Chance. Like, for real. Like, it could be, if we were going to do it, though, Green Forever should have been last.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been like Red Yesterday, Blue Tomorrow, Green Forever, some shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so like with that, I've kind of been a little bit since Crowd Control. Really haven't wrote that much.
Yeah.
I think on that Green Forever, I only wrote one song, and that was like day of. Like, I just was outside of the booth and like someone was recording. I had beats on and write. So I've been trying to get back into writing because I think, even though I think Green Forever is a great album, I think personally my best work comes from when I actually take my time and write.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so I've been trying to get back into writing and stuff. So I'm hoping to have I'm working on a project right now, the one that I was talking about in the works. I'm calling it Baby Blue Skies. And then I'm hoping to have that out around Camp Currency time so I can perform some new music. And then I want to work on a Halloween EP and call it Halloween. That can I tell the story of how that became?
Yeah.
Like how that name like I found that name was it was Christmas. Me and like my whole family, like all my cousins and stuff, and their my 2 cousins that are married, their husbands, my cousin's girlfriend, they were they were all there and stuff, and we were just playing games. And this game that we had, it was like whoever was reading it would be from their perspective. So it was like, I don't have a lion, but if I had a lion, what would his name be? Shit like that.
Yeah.
And then everyone writes it down. And then everyone goes around and votes the best answer. And I think they try to pick or best answer or who they think, like, which one was mine. So the couple of them said, like, Wee Woo Wednesday, Siren Sunday, Siren Day, like shit like that. And I sat there for like 3 minutes trying to think of a holiday that sounded like Siren. So I'm going through, I'm like, Simus, like no, like shit like that, honestly. And
Saint Siren time.
yeah, some yeah, same yeah. I couldn't think of anything. And then I was like, Halloween, Halloween. So I wrote it down. Everyone laughed, thought it was funny. And then I was like, yep, that's mine. So I'm like, yep, now I gotta do like an EP with that name. And
You do.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of hoping to have 3 different 2 albums and a project out this year.
So speaking of that one dropping right before Camp Currency, how's it feel to perform again?
Oh yeah. My last time performing before this would have been with the
Black Friday?
Black Friday with All Yeah.
And that was your first time since Siren Fest, right?
No, I did a showcase during that summer.
Showcase. Oh yeah, the showcase.
With some people like Casey Cash, Who Ate Cusco was there. Chance
Yeah.
was one of the judges of the showcase.
And you didn't win?
No, I did not win. I did not win. There was a lot of talented people there that night, for real. But yeah, like Hustle Made Tone was performing there. There was a lot of different great artists there. So yeah, that was kind of my way to shake off the cobwebs and get ready for Camp Currency going in this past summer. And then some shit happened where I was stupid. And honestly, if I'm being straight up, Crowd Control was a great project, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't. I wasn't ready to get back on stage and do it in front of a bunch of people like that. I wasn't. I since then have done 3 different performances. I'm starting to get my back into performing, and I've been told I'm a pretty good performer. So it wasn't my time. I wasn't ready. That whole thing that happened with me not being able to perform at Camp Currency, it made me better, and it made me more appreciative of who I got around me, and it made me realize that it's not a one-man boat. Like I gotta, even though I always thought of it as a team, I gotta be a little bit more like appreciative of what my homies have done for me. And
Yeah,
shit.
it's more than just having a team, it's doing teamwork.
Exactly. So when not being able to perform, it was a blessing in disguise, so yeah, man, I'm really excited to perform at Camp Currency this year. And, a lot of people that I genuinely fuck with and are close friends of mine in music that'll be performing, Rare Image performing, 2-6 performing, and helping run the event, both of you, and Currency Clothing and Colton, like that's the homie for show. And All Yeah, being a part of it this year is gonna be fucking awesome. And I'm really another big reason I'm excited for All Yeah already, because All Yeah is like fucking amazing. And if I didn't know them, like the main reason I would be excited for them is I always felt bad for Chance because he would have to stand up after every fucking
song.
set, after every set, and announce who was coming next. So All Yeah that's perfect.
Yeah.
It works, and All Yeah is funny as shit and stuff, and they're the best. And they're on the next episode, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be number 2. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, those are the homies, and I'm really excited for this year. It's gonna be a great time.
Hell yeah! Wish you the best of luck for sure.
I appreciate that.
Well, coming down to the quick hitters.
Oh, let's go! I've waited fucking how many? 15 episodes for this?
Yeah. 15, yeah. There's always room for improvement. What is your biggest weakness?
I think I have 2. I think that I can be. There's been so many times where I've started a song and like been liking it, and then like kind of like can't think of anything for a second, and I switch to something else.
Yeah.
I have ADD bad,
That is
so
every artist.
so I switch like,
Or it's also me with ADD.
and
So.
then I'll forget the song, or like not remember the melody, or like not like try and get the next day compared to when you're doing it right then. It's not going to be as good in my opinion. So working on that, and then I think executing the vision I have for the song in my head when I record.
Yeah.
I think that's another big one for me. So yeah, I would say writing, like staying consistent and finishing a song when I start writing it, executing the vision, and I think I need to put out a little bit more. It's been a while, so
For sure. If you could make a collab album with any artist in the music industry, who would it be? I already know what you're gonna say.
here's the thing. The artist I think I would mesh the best with, and I think I can make something pretty fucking cool with, would be maybe like a Post Malone,
That'd be dope.
or
That'd be an interesting
or
album.
like maybe a Roddy, like because I do a lot of that auto-tune rap, so maybe
Yeah.
him. The one that makes the most sense, and like I'd be set for fucking life if I did this. If you do a fucking song with Drake, you're set for life. If you do an album with Drake, you're good. So I would, me being personal and who I like to listen to, Drake, me looking at my style of rap and who I think I would mesh with, Roddy Ricch, Post Malone, probably.
I thought you were gonna say Migos.
I love. We say No One Dead. We can't do Dead on the album.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I love
I
the
thought we
Migos.
did do Dead.
No, not on the
that's
album.
that's for Dead or Alive, which
Yeah.
is actually the next question.
I was like, because I thought I did Mac.
5 dinner guests, dead or alive.
This is the thing, bro, because this is a lot of pressure. I've seen more than 15 other people do this because of other guests being on episodes and stuff. So let's go with Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Michael Jackson, Jeff Hardy. I want to throw in a comedian. Dave Chappelle.
One more.
Let's go with Drake. That's what I'll go with.
Table.
Yeah.
Very good table.
I think Chappelle would have everyone laughing their ass off. I could get some good advice about like
Dude,
getting bigger.
we know you've been thinking about it because you're probably the fastest person to go through all 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely.
that's normally like a 20
And I was
question.
still like thinking of other names to sit with me. Gordon Ramsay cooking, if that's included, for sure.
If you could have anybody on the podcast as a guest, who would it be? I
think Dead or Alive.
Preferably alive.
Okay.
I mean, you can say dead if you want, but like, I'm trying to be like realistic.
Yeah. I think it'd be like the best music artist. I think a Drake or a maybe a Lil Dicky episode would be fun.
Lil Dicky would be
Dude,
fun.
the
That'd be a
Lil
good
Dicky
time.
episode
I think
would go
I think an
crazy.
Uzi episode would be a great time. But if I'm going straight on comedy, Bert Kreischer, 100%. All yes, like me and All Yeah talked about how much we like Bert Kreischer, and fucking like I was like,
Did you see his last special
Yes.
on Netflix?
honestly, I love Bert. I love Bert to death. Probably my favorite comedian right now. I thought that his last special might have been like, it wasn't better than the last two before that.
It was
The
up there.
Machine and Big Boy.
Okay, you can't top The Machine.
That's fucking awesome. So yes, just to hear
Machine is like a top 3 stand-up
Yeah.
special of all time.
100%. Just seeing, just to hear him tell that story,
Yeah.
and like just to see it come out, like in person, see him talk about that, fucking would be amazing. That would be awesome. That'd be worth the podcast episode. And you know, is his movie out yet? I don't think it is.
I don't think it's out
He has
yet.
a whole movie coming out about, but there's one story that he told in one of his stand-up skits called The Machine. He has a movie coming out about it.
Wow.
Yeah, and his dad is played by Mark Hamill,
Hamill,
who
yeah.
plays Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Star Wars growing up for me was the shit, just like pro wrestling was. So like, yeah, so I'm definitely gonna go see that movie. So comedy, Bert, music.
Have
Drake,
you ever watched
Uzi,
his
Dicky.
podcast?
Bert
Yeah.
with Tom Segura.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fucking
I was
amazing.
like, that's a good
He was just
podcast.
on Logan Paul's podcast and it was
Yeah, I
really
saw
fucking
that.
good.
Personal favorite top 5 artists of all time.
See, oh my God.
Migos.
here's the thing, man. Migos were, I got hip to rap through Drake, but the Migos, I would say, from all their different styles that they can do, that's, I think, what eventually made me want to be like do music. I think the Migos 100%, whether it was the auto-tune shit that Quavo could do, or the killer verses that Takeoff had, or like a little bit of both from Offset, like those guys are probably my biggest influence in music.
Dude, they do have some range, going from songs like Notice Me with Post Malone to like
Bro.
Bad Bougie,
Even their features, when you hear them on other songs,
or like T-Shirt.
yeah, bro, they got some heat. So like, the Migos are definitely top 5. Drake, Uzi, and then because I grew up listening to any type of music, I'll go with Bruno Mars, because I think you can't go wrong with a Bruno Mars album.
No.
There's so many hits on Bruno Mars
He's a
albums.
legend.
Even if you like look at songs he wrote but doesn't sing on,
Yeah,
like,
he's
hits.
talented as fuck.
He's a legend.
And then I'll go Bieber, because I mean, to be honest, since I've remember like being a fan of music besides like old shit and Motown, Bieber has always been around
Dude,
making
yeah.
hits.
I
just like
feel
Bruno.
that too. When I first like was learning like guitar, I learned a bunch of Justin Bieber and Luke Bryan songs
Yeah.
because that's the girl I liked was obsessed with. So I was like, well, damn, I can sing like
Yeah,
him.
so
I couldn't, but
yeah, those
Try.
five for sure. Like, yeah, that's if I could have a whole playlist just with those songs, and it could be like a good like 4-hour long playlist.
For sure. What is your favorite album with no skips?
And you know what's crazy? Sitting here, I always land on a different album. Like just like from like thinking of him in my head, like during every artist that's gone. So it always switches, but I think personally that there is not a single skip on Love Is Rage 2, Lil Uzi. I don't think there's a single fucking skip on that album. Other albums, Kirk by DaBaby, there might be like 1 or 2, Scorpion, Drake, Culture 1 or 2, Migos. I think there's a couple that like might have 1 or 2, 3
I think
songs.
Scorpion has one skip for me.
It's a great album, but honestly, Love Is Rage 2, like I was just updating my playlist of music. I added that whole album because I can listen to that whole album at any time. So that, yeah, I would go with that one.
For sure. Gun to your head. You got to sing every lyric to a song. What song would that be?
Not one of your songs.
No. See, like from reading fucking like comments on our shorts and shit like that, like everyone says Fireball because it's just the one word. Like you want to die, Fireball. Dun, 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 dun. Like that.
See,
would be
that's how
perfect.
much you know. It actually is I'm a Fireball.
Okay, see, I would die. I would die. So that's why I'm not picking it. I would go Don't Stop Believin' Journey.
I was like, I know that song just because it was at every Tigers game.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that song. My dad told me a few years ago, he was like, what do you think? Like, he was like, he was talking to me, and me and my dad have a good connection to music and stuff, and he'll tell me about a lot of shit and stuff. And he was like, Don't Stop Believin' might have one of those verses that, like, no matter where the fuck you are, you could be in Kroger, you could be at the barbershop getting your hair cut, you could be in the shower listening to the radio, whatever. You hear, I seen her in a smoky room. You're singing it, no doubt.
Dude, no.
And I sat there and I was like, damn, he's kind of right.
There's not, like, coming up in Southeast Michigan, that song comes on, you have never heard a room louder than when it
South
says,
Detroit.
yep, born and raised
100%.
in South Detroit.
And it's so cool because I think everyone loves that song.
Like, you will not hear a room get louder.
Yeah.
No
I
matter
think-
where you are. You could be at, like, a Suicide Boys concert, and if that song came on, like, before they came out, everyone there
whole
saying
crowd
it.
singing it. And the crazy part is, if you don't like that song, what are you doing, man? Like, that's just like,
I don't know anyone that doesn't like it.
it's time for natural selection. at
There
that
might be
point.
some people that are like, it's overplayed, but, like, no one doesn't like
No,
it.
it's one of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it is real key.
It's not even one of their best songs either.
Yes, it is. What do you mean? It's one of the
Statistically,
biggest songs all
okay.
time. It's
Oh,
not one of
yeah.
their best songs.
They have good songs.
I know they have a lot of good music, but how is that not one of their best songs if it's the biggest song of all time?
I'm not saying it's not a good song. I'm just saying they have better songs too.
I'm not arguing with you.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
You know, I had an answer set up for this, and but I hope by 10 years from now I've already been able to do this. My original answer was going to be buying my parents a house.
Okay.
But I hope by 10 years from now I was able to do that, 2 years from now or 4 years, whatever, So I hope to be doing, like, this is what I fucking love. So, like, if I'm able to be doing this in 10 years, whether it's, Chance running the studio, you and me running the label, whatever, something like that. Me still doing music, us still doing a fucking podcast, and we're 700,000 episodes deep or whatever, some shit, So, I'll still be with my guys, we might be taking the same squad picks, but it'll be a new camera.
I do need an upgrade.
I do need an upgrade.
I had that shit set up for a song, so I'm happy I got to say it. So so I'll still be with my guys, hopefully still doing what we love to do, and hopefully making a lot of fucking money doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. But before we sign off, do you have any shout outs, social media handles you want to give out real quick?
Fuck, this is weird. It just hit me. The ending and the beginning both hit me. Follow my music page, official Lil Siren. Follow my art page if you need any cover arts or logos or posters, anything that you can need. I guarantee you I could do it.
All these links will be in the description.
Yep. Sincerely _Siren. Shout out the homie. Shout out Nate. Shout out Devin. Thank you for coming on and hosting, stepping in.
Intern host.
Yeah.
New host for season 2.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this and help. Shout out 26. That's a dude that it was kind of like you and me, Devin. We started out as kind of business and just working on music, and we became brothers. So those are and you too, Nate, for real. But we were brothers first, and then but yeah, shout out my guys. Shout out my mom. Shout out my dad. Shout out my grandma. Shout out anybody that's ever fucking rided with me or
shout out your sister for painting.
Shout out shout out Centaur Slots if we're doing that. So shout out Centaur Slots. Shout out anybody that's listened to one of my songs. Shout out anybody that's ever seen me perform. The reason I continue to do this is because I love it, and hearing that other people might like it just makes it even better. So, shout out anybody that's ever fucking helped me out, anything, those are all the fucking homies for real.
For sure. Well, I do want to say it's a blessing working with you. And I'm just excited to see where this shit takes us.
I am too, man.
To the moon, hopefully.
See what you have to say.
What do I have to say? Dude, just I've seen you grow from Heartbreaker. I was around, I remember hearing Heartbreaker through the speaker in the student section at football games. And
talk about
progression.
Well, we didn't talk about that.
We didn't talk about that. I was performing in fucking student.
Dude, yeah. So no, I remember hearing Heartbreaker and being like, that shit's ass. But seeing you come now.
Fair.
And just everything you're going, it's a good trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're going big too.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And it's all blessings for the rest of 2023, and we got big moves in the works, bro. Stay tuned for real.
With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. First episode of season 2. Hope you guys like the new setup. I mean, didn't do too much, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys on Sundays, and
There it is.